All right, I'm taking you guys to my very first real estate deal. All right, so here it is. This is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. It's less than 1,000 square feet. Just a cute little home on a nice, pretty much close to downtown. I got that deal on the market. So this is like 12, 13 years ago when there were deals on the MLS. It's easier to find deal on the MLS. But nowadays, you gotta get them off market. I think that property was listed for $105,000, and I made an offer of I think 50-something thousand, and then we end up negotiating back and forth, and I think we end up locking on the contract and bought it for I think 80-something thousand dollars. I ended up putting about 50-something thousand dollars into it to rehab it. For those of you who don't know, I actually started out as a fix and flipper, so I actually got into wholesaling way later. Okay, but we end up we spent 4 months rehabbing that property, and then we listed it on the market, and then found a buyer in 2 days, sold that thing in like a quick, I think it was like a 30 or 45 days closing, and end up making like 50-some thousand dollars from that. But that was the start of my real estate journey. Now I'm gonna take you to my first wholesale deal house that I did after I got into the whole fix and flip game. All right, so this right here is my first wholesale deal, and it changed the game for me. I end up sending everyone in this neighborhood a letter saying that I want to buy their houses. And that one lady actually replied back to me. So that deal came from expired listing. So she has her property listed with an agent, but for whatever reason, they couldn't sell it, so they took it off the market. So I decided to send her a letter saying, hey, my name's Khang. I'm interested in buying your property and pay you cash, and I can do quick closing. No real estate commission, no closing costs, hassle-free, yada, yada, yada. She calls me up and we talk on the phone. I built great rapport with her. And on our fourth conversation, we met at McDonald's and we actually signed the contract. And I locked that property on the contract for, I think, for 45 days. And it cost me about $150 for the earnest money deposit to lock it up. Then it took me 2 days to find an investor who actually want to buy it, fix it, and keep it as a long-term rental. So basically here is in a college neighborhood. So in my local market, there's an investor who loves these areas. They love the long-term hold, and he holds over hundreds of property in this area. I sold the contract to him and made $28,000 in 15 days. I ended up shutting down my whole fix and flip operation, and I went all into wholesaling. And this is why I love wholesaling versus fix and flip. I did the whole fix and flip game for 4.5 years. And the reason I got into wholesaling, because I got to the point where I had $1.5 million tied up and I couldn't leverage anymore. And I was going to go bankrupt. And that's when my local investor said, hey, Khang, you're so good at finding deals and negotiating them. Why don't you wholesale? And I said, come on, man, shit. I'll have to give it a shot because I have no choice, right? And that's when I found that house and it changed my life. I said, dude, it only cost me $150 to put that prop in the contract, and I can turn around and just sell the contract and make $28,000 in 15 days. I said, dude, this is a game changer. No buying, no fixing, no headaches, no drama. I didn't have to deal with the contractor. I didn't have to deal with the city, getting all the permit, wait 4 to 5 months to get paid, and then dealing with the, retail buyer asking you to fix this, fix that bullshit, all right? So that's when I went all into wholesaling. It's just a quick in and out. I say this all the time. Wholesaling is the quickest and the safest way to make money in real estate. It doesn't require a whole lot of capital, and you can get paid in 15 days or less. So I've been wholesaling virtually now for the past 7 years. And my biggest wholesale fee, my biggest wholesale deal is $212,000. And that's on a single family home. And that transaction took me about 30 days. And it only cost me, I think, $250 to put that prop in the contract. You see, wholesaling is so much easier to grow and so much easier to scale versus fix and flip. Fix and flip is too much capital intensive and it's extremely risky. Imagine if you were to buy 10 property and fix and flip it. How much capital would that cost you? And how much manpower would you need? For me, all I need is a few VA, $1,000 to tie 10 property in a contract, and I can turn around and flip them and make a quick, 20 to 25K on each one of them. And if I can't, I can call the seller back, I can cancel the contract, I can renegotiate, back out the deal. With fix and flip, once you buy it, dude, it's game over. You're stuck with it. So your exit strategy might have to be hold long term. So you might have a lot of cash stuck in there, and you might have to hold it for the next few years. But with wholesaling, worst case is I call the seller back, I renegotiate. If it doesn't work, I cancel the contract, I back out. Worst come to worst, I lose my earnest money deposit, which is around $250. Listen, I have students that put a property under contract recently with just $10 and turn around and made $13,000 on that contract. Listen, if you're looking for a second stream of income or a side hustle that you can make some extra money, imagine doing this, doing one deal a month or one deal every 3 months and making extra, $50,000 to $100,000 a year on top of whatever you're currently making right now. And you can do this part-time. You don't need a license. You don't need a college degree. You don't need a GED. You don't even need to know your ABC. I'm a high school dropout. Like, you think I'm kidding, but I'm a high school dropout. And if I can do this, you can too. A lot of times it's you're missing information and the knowledge on how to do so. So here's what I'm going to help you. I want to help you become financially free through wholesaling real estate. So here's what I'm going to do for you. So I'll put the link to my 3-day challenge replay, and I'll give it to you for free. And that 3-day challenge has helped so many people close their first deal. All right. And hopefully you will be the next one. So I'll leave the link in the descriptions. Go check it out. It's completely free. Now, listen, nothing works if you don't. Okay. Dreams don't work unless you do. Knowledge without execution is worthless. But I'll give you all the knowledge, the information, the resource that you need to get started today. So click the link in my descriptions. I wish you the best of luck, and I look forward to seeing you closing your first wholesale deal. And let's go get this money.